Peace, love, and light, ICSP family. This video I feel like is going to be really, really impactful, and it's really going to touch a lot of people that's battling this. So today we're going to talk about anxiety. We're going to talk about how it affects so many people. And let me just put this out there. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a man like everybody else that on a day-to-day basis battles anxiety. So growing up, in a family where my mom was really at work a lot of times, and my dad was out running the streets, drinking, gambling, doing shit like that. It really made me anxious as a child because I was left alone a lot of times, and I was really dealing with a lot of trauma, like I talked about in the last video. So just naturally that makes you anxious because you don't know what to expect when your dad's going to come home, and you don't know what's going to happen the next day, just living day to day. And as I grew up, I started to battle anxiety too. Going to work, you get real anxious because you don't know what to expect for that day. Going to school, and then you start having children, and then you get anxious about the outcome of what's going to happen with them. So your mind just starts to wander, and it starts to play tricks on you. So I wasn't an extremely anxious person, but I was battling anxiety. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that helped me on my journey and really helped me with battling my anxiety so I didn't have to take medications. The main thing that you guys really want to focus on is your self-improvement. So you want to get better every day. You want to really focus on your mind and your mindset. So some of the things that you could do is listening to podcasts that are helping with your self-improvement. Start reading the Bible. Read books that are going to really help you focus on the now. So when you talk about self-improvement, there's a lot of things that you can do as far as working out too, so that will help some of your anxiety that you're battling. But the main thing is really trying to get better every day. So as long as you're getting better, you're kind of eliminating some of that anxiety because you know that you can push yourself past a point that's going to really put you in a position to where you're thinking about things constantly. So if you're distracted, or if you're spending too much time just thinking, overthinking, and analyzing everything, that's kind of what makes you anxious, because now you're just spending time just thinking and thinking and thinking. So you want to spend time being centered and grounded in the now, because that's eliminating a lot of those thoughts. The second thing is getting out of your comfort zone and taking action immediately. So if you're really thinking about, oh man, what's going to happen tomorrow? I got this big project that I have to do tomorrow, and I'm really nervous about how the outcome is going to be. I'm going to have to speak to 1,000 people, and that's really making me anxious. Or, for example, probably something that's really affecting so many people right now is how that bill is going to get paid. Because you might be behind on rent, you might be behind on mortgage, and you don't know how you're going to pay groceries. Your brain just starts to wonder, and then you start to get fear, and that makes you extremely, extremely anxious. You want to come back, center yourself in the now, and start taking action on the things that you can do immediately that might help eliminate some of that anxiety. So for example, let's say you have a project tomorrow, and you have a deadline to meet, but you've been procrastinating all day. You've been going out having fun, or you've been sitting there watching TV. You don't want to take action immediately. So the next thing you want to do is just eliminate all that anxiety by taking action now. You got that project, so let's get task oriented. Let's do something right now that's going to push us in one step further to getting that project done. That will help eliminate some of those anxious thoughts that you have. So right now we have taking action immediately, getting out of your comfort zone. That's a big one. That's a huge one. So, a lot of you guys, you might have social anxiety. So, you're afraid to be around people. Like there were times where I was too. I can get real bad anxiety. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert by nature. So, being around a lot of people makes me anxious. But this might be a little bit off topic, but I know for a lot of reasons, it can be spiritual too. So, for me specifically, I felt like I'm picking up on so many different people's energy that's affecting me spiritually. It's throwing off my vibrations and my frequency. So it's not really allowing me to be the best version of myself and really operate at a higher frequency, because I'm affected by so many people's different energies. So the person next to you might be dark, he might be depressed, he might have so many negative thoughts that he's affecting your vibes now, because he's coming into your aura, and he's really affecting the way that you feel now. So going back to getting out of your comfort zone though, a lot of times people don't realize that when you're battling social anxiety, you might want to start being around people so that it can really help you be less anxious. So what I mean by that is, if you're afraid to go to a party because there's going to be so many people there, there's going to be, people that you don't like, let's say a coworker or a friend, go be around them. You don't have to be their best friend or anything like that, but you can put yourself in an environment that's around them so you can eliminate a lot of that fear that you have, a lot of that social anxiety. You want to push yourself in that direction. So, that's a big one as well. And just centering it back to the main point here, self-improvement, I think, is at the top of that list though, because as long as you're constantly focusing on your mind and getting better, you really start to channel the peace that you have. So you're not as anxious. As you sit there and you realize that anxiety is all in the mind, you can actually start focusing on spending more time on your mind and eliminating a lot of those anxious thoughts without having to have medication or form of therapy. And a lot of times therapy can be just talking to somebody about it. If you have somebody that you have that is really close to you, that you feel is not going to judge you, and really give you uplifting positive energy, that will help you out as well. So I know anxiety is a big topic right now. It's a lot of things that's one of the main things right now that's affecting so many people. And believe me guys, these things worked in my life. The moment I decided to really do these things that I mentioned in this video, I really don't battle anxiety at all no more. Mind you, we're all going to have those times where we're overthinking sometimes and we having anxious thoughts, but as long as I do these things, I come back to a centered state to where I'm focusing the now and I'm not really anxious. So if this video helped you out like it helped, which I imagine it did, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video so this can get out to the world. Until the next time, peace, love, and light, ICSP family.